And that strategy includes discomfort, self-doubt, insecurity. You and the way to overcome it is only through action and just embracing it. So it really means a lot to build relationships. Relationship is the key to a fulfilled life. Human beings were not meant to be on our own. And confidence is something that came after I got competent at the role. But a lot of people wouldn't even start because they think they need the confidence to start. You don't need confidence to start.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Up Front with Terry Thompson, the show where we get to the bottom line up front of the most important issues facing life and business. And now, here's your host for this episode, Terry Thompson. If you want to create a life of love and enjoy, you must have confidence. But the big question is, how do we gain the confidence needed to overcome the many self-induced obstacles we tend to put in our own way? And today we have a very special guest who is going to help us understand how we can overcome those obstacles and so much more. Welcome to the show, Amma Primicino. Amma, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Terry. What a warm intro. How are you doing?
I always tell everybody every day is Monday, and I truly mean that. It's a mindset thing. And I think that whenever, you can build those systems in place, those things in place. And for me, it's the every day is Monday mantra, because man, every day can be chaotic, but when you don't care what day it is, who cares? Every day is Monday. I love it. Amma, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Man, you are such a powerful woman. I've been watching you for a while, and as creepy as that sounds, man, you've been watching me for a while. Yes, I've been watching you for a while.
Really?
And man, you are so powerful. I love your message. I love your story. I love the women that you connect with, especially Rosie. When you and Rosie go live, I love those conversations because the two of you ladies really are very powerful when you get together and you share great stories, great messages. And I truly believe that that's what really connects people. It is those stories, it's those messages, it's those things that you've been through, that you've struggled through, that really allows other people to be empowered by that. How do you empower women so elegantly, so gracefully with your knowledge, skills, and experience? Because I truly believe you are empowering a lot of women worldwide.
Thank you so much, Terry. Rosie is a force of nature, and she brings out the playfulness in me, and when we're together, you see the magic of feminine power together, supporting each other, guiding each other, celebrating each other. Like you said, every single one of us have a story to share. We come from a family with stories. The generation before told a story, and now the story is within us, being played out every single day, every single season of our lives. And like any beautiful story, there's twists and turns and ups and downs and falls and rises. And there's nothing more empowering in a storytelling, in a novel, on screen, on radio, anything that we enjoy, with a damn good comeback. Everybody loves to hear about a setback, a challenge, an obstacle, and how the hero or heroine came back, right? Reset, rebuilt, re-energized. But the sad part is, in reality, when we're living the reality, we don't want the failures and the falls and the, setbacks and obstacles. So I'm on a mission to help women to understand that you can do anything you want, and there's a strategy for anything. And that strategy includes discomfort, self-doubt, insecurity. And the way to overcome it is only through action and just embracing it. At some point, it will start to feel as normal as celebrations and successes and fun, right? If I do anything and I mess it up, Terry, I just think the same as I did something good, and I laugh about myself. And that's what's great about the vibe I have of Rosie on our live exposure. We talk about how difficult it is to do some of those things that we need to do to become successful. in our field, Terry, we study a lot of personal development. We look at personal development at its best in many fields, from sports athletes to celebrities who are taking stage. The thing that I love the most is when they allow cameras behind the scenes so you can see the shots that didn't make it, right? All the shots going in is fine, is one thing. But the exciting thing is that, someone like Michael Jordan can miss 55 and get one in, but the one in is the one that makes the difference. But the 55, he went through it and pushed past all the negative or limiting beliefs, self-talk, all those things until he achieves a successful outcome. So I just love life. I love what's possible, when you're willing to feel the full rainbow of emotions. And with the introduction of AI and technology coming our way, I think human beings are going to go through transition faster than we've ever seen in the last 100 years. And that transition is going to bring up all the emotions that we try to dodge, right? Fear, self-doubt, reinventing yourself, identity issues. So it's a superpower to learn the art of taking risks, feeling uncomfortable, being willing to suck, as Evan Carmichael teaches, and being willing to start from zero at something and work your way up. And that's where confidence comes from. Confidence is not something you have from the start or the entry point. Confidence is what you gain after you take uncomfortable action over and over again with consistency behind you. And of course, you need to surround yourself with like-minded, heart-minded individual who are also demonstrating what it means to be successful every single day. The challenge, the struggle, you cry together, you laugh together, you restart together, you unlearn together. Getting into community is half the battle won. Yeah.
I love that. Amma, thank you so much for sharing that. And oftentimes I see so many people that play small, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of expectations that are out there that are put on us within the world. There's people that are setting the bar really super high. And then there's people that are really just kind of setting the bar really low. I have to ask, does it take courage to build confidence or even to have confidence?
It doesn't take as much courage as we think it does.
Hmm.
Shall we do a little demonstration, Terry? You and I, right here.
Absolutely. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Put your hand up for me. Put your hand up for me. Okay. Now put your hand up a little bit higher. Okay. Why didn't you put your hand up that high from the beginning?
Because my back hurts.
Okay, right. Exactly. Great answer. You can put your hand down now. The reason you
Yeah.
didn't do it is because your back hurts, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't do it. It's also because most of us want to stay in our comfort zone. Going that little bit
Mm,
further back is a push.
it
That
is.
right
Yeah.
here is comfortable. Put your hand up. My hand is up. Put it up further much. It's a bit uncomfortable, and you feel all the tension and you feel the resistance within your body. So, Terry,
I
that
did.
is why a lot of people play it small, because it's uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's all hard. If you're not growing, you're also dying and you're shrinking. So, one way or another, you get to choose which side you want. Take the temporary discomfort of stretching outside of your comfort zone, or start shrinking and dying. So when you understand that you can, with time and with effort, stretch beyond your comfort zone, everything you want, you can have more money, more better health, greater relationship, but it's all uncomfortable. And most of us don't want to be uncomfortable to get there.
Yeah, I love, thank you for that little exercise, by the way. I think that we oftentimes learn not only by saying, but we also learn by doing. And that was a great exercise of doing to give an example and show an example. I love that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
You know, with so much chaos that's going on out there within the world, I always tell people to embrace the beautiful mess. Embrace the beautiful mess that is you, the beautiful mess that is like, the situation, the circumstances. Embrace the beautiful mess because it is through that beautiful mess that you can give an even more beautiful message. What, how can people get past the mess to create the message?
Hmm. So that's another barrier to people
Mhm.
feeling liberated and getting into creativity. First of all, any true creative path is messy. So we have to understand that if you want to create in this world, we're all born to create. Like we're
Mhm.
all born with a story behind us. So you get to choose your creative outlet.
Mhm.
You can be an artist, a musician, an actor, any path you choose. It requires you to be messy because the true beauty in creativity is in the mess,
Mhm.
right? Look at the art that wins the Turner Prize. Look at some fashion shows you see on the runway. Some of it look messy. You don't even understand it.
They
But
look horrible.
but that is creativity. And but we're brought up also to be looking for straight lines, angles. You know, if you look at what maths is, we're always trying to be fitting in a box and answering a certain way. But true
Mhm.
creativity is just becoming unleashed and expressing the uniqueness that is you. Our fingerprints are completely unique. If you put it on a microphone to, sorry, a telegraph to see it, the whole pattern of our fingerprints is messy looking, right? But it creates a unique identity that is me or you.
Mhm.
So I think we just need to get away from a mess having that meaning of untidiness, not good enough, and look at mess as genius, perfection, brilliance, right? I'm starting to see the beauty in a mess. So last year, to help me get more messy, I took up an adult art class and it was using watercolors to express emotions. And me being a recovering perfectionist at the time, ooh, the idea of just getting messy on paper wasn't my thing, but that was the whole point. You
Mhm.
have to allow your paintbrush to literally go wherever it goes to see what comes out, you know, because it's wet and it leaks and it bleeds and it travels and it is messy. And at the end of it, if you take a step back, in that messy process, you get to create a truly beautiful and unique piece of work that is just perfect. Yeah. So perfection is in
I
messiness.
I love the watercolor analogy because I think that a lot of times people are, they're afraid to allow the mess to happen. They're afraid, people live in fear because I think there's a lot of fear of judgment that's out there. I always tell people, I was like, look, people will often judge you from a place of weakness because they do not understand the strength that it took for you to be vulnerable. And I think that when you put yourself out there in a way, you might not necessarily have it all together. You don't have all the knowledge, you don't have all the skills, you don't have all the experience, you don't have all the things. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that we have the most important thing that we really need in order to make a difference within this world, and that's ourselves. And I think that when we show up within ourselves and show other people, hey, I'm me for who I am and what I am. You can judge however you want, but you know what? I'm just going to continue to be me. And I think that really conditions other people on how to really deal with us. And I think that that's something that people are missing is teaching people how, not necessarily how to deal with you, but how to approach you, how to understand you, how to love you. And I think that there's a leading process within that. How do you lead other people to really kind of interact and engage with you?
It's not an easy process, Terry. It's not an easy process because
Mhm.
um, speaking to you right now, talking about storytelling, there's the you, Terry, that I'm speaking to you today on the 17th of January 2024. There's a you that used to be you a year ago, 2 years ago. And there's another you that is ahead of you that you're trying to get to. All right. So the way I help people to embrace and engage with me is to welcome all parts of you.
Mhm.
The greatest thing anybody can learn to do is to welcome all parts of themselves. That starts with a full self-awareness, your strengths, your weaknesses, your skill sets, your knowledge, your background. Bring all of it to the table. It's all welcome on the table. And then also to understand what is unique about you and how you can help, even if you can only think of it like this, an old version of yourself. We don't have to be at mastery level before we have value to support another human being. I always like to say, I'm literally one chapter ahead of you. If I'm reading a book, so I've got a book on my desk right here, and it's
Mm.
Stop Chasing Perfection and Accept Excellence, right? I'm one chapter in from this book, Terry. I can share with you that one chapter. I don't need to have read the whole book and have implemented excellence for myself. I can share with you what's in the last chapter. So I think if we can all get away with being perfect, being a master, being excellent, and learn this new skill. Okay, my dad used to call something, he's BBC. He was born before computers. And that means the whole idea of having meetings like this on screen and staring at himself is something unusual. But as we advance, taking stage, showing up, going all in is a necessary part of progress, of human evolution, of us sharing our gifts and talents with the world. So it is just meeting yourself like what we're doing on camera, sitting with all the discomforts, and eventually those whispers of self-doubts. Oh, how's my nose looking? Oh, how's my voice sounding? I'm not good enough. When you keep meeting that person, you get to fall in love with them. And also, if you meet it with a mindset of welcoming that person you're meeting, that next version of you that you're meeting, um, and you speak to it like a best friend. Way to go, Terry. Way to go, Amma. Showing up, speaking your truth. Whatever I have to say is of value. If it's not of, and I always like to think if I'm able to help just one person with my voice or my message, I did a good job. And Terry, that one person could be me. Any one of the me's I've discussed, the me I used to be, the me I am now, the me I'm going to be in the future, or you, anybody watching, if they get one word, one phrase, and I support one person, I'm done.
I love that. And all that it takes is one, each one reach one, each one teach one, and then each one become one. And I truly believe that if you want to, you was hinting at something earlier, and this reminded me of something that I used to share within the military. And in the military, it was be, no, do. And if you want to become a better person, a better leader, you must be, know, and do. And I talked to somebody yesterday, and it was be, do, give. I was
You
like,
do
wow,
give.
that's kind of a nice little twist on that. And I was like, wow, it opened up my eyes to a different side of how we can show up to serve other people. And I truly believe that no matter where you're at, we all serve in different ways. We all serve, we have to be flexible to serve in different ways. Otherwise, we will limit our capability and our ability to be of tremendous value to those that we serve. And I want to understand how important is flexibility within that, because I see so many leaders, so many people, so many entrepreneurs, so many even businesses just, go down the street to just a local business. I'm sorry, but we don't do that here. Like, why not, dude? I'm the customer, saying, why do you play small? Why are you holding back? Why you're not serving in a way that is conducive, to the customer. And I know you and I kind of had a little back and forth before we went live here. It's like, do we go on Zoom? Do we go on IG? I don't know, man. It's like, well, this is what I do, but this is what we do. But like there's a lot to unpack with that. But how important is flexibility, with whenever you're trying to serve people in a better way?
Yeah. Whenever you're trying to serve people in a better way, flexibility is vital because we're all different, we're all unique. And
Mhm.
I don't believe there's one key that opens all doors.
Mm.
So that means that you have to get creative, you have to get messy, you have to be flexible, you have to be many things that isn't chiseled in stone. Because what we do, we're serving human beings, and human beings come in all different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, experiences, emotions, etc. And also, for what we're doing, it's 50% skills and 50% intuition. So to
Mm.
guide, to motivate, to educate, to inspire another human being, to unlock a version of themselves, to go through a transition, to take a transformation, it requires a lot of flexibility that you tap in from your own intuition. There's a skilled, trained coaching modalities, tools, and resources to use. And then another part is intuition. So for your intuition to flow, it requires a lot of fluidity, a lot of flexibility to be able to tap into an endless reservoir of knowledge and wisdom that sometimes for me is channeled. You know, I as a Christian, I ask God to be, for me to be a vessel for his good, right? So most of the time, it's not just, I'm not depending on my own power, on my own stories, on my own vulnerability in service of the client. I'm also allowing my body, my mind, my heart to be flexible, to be that vessel, to receive the guidance, the knowledge, the wisdom to help that person to unlock, to shift, to come into their own aha moments and shift their mindset. But as you know, coaching is also through a series of questions. We don't dictate or tell the client what to do. Mm-hmm. We first get them present and then allow them to be processing what they're experiencing, and then help them to make a commitment and take action. All of those steps cannot be done in one way. It has to be flexible, depending what the client wants to achieve, what they want to avoid, what they believe are the next best steps for them. Mm-hmm. So flexibility is key. And also very often our role is, as entrepreneurs, we're trailblazers. Mm-hmm. You're not always going to go somewhere that there's already a route map. You need to take with you a shovel to carve your own path if there isn't, or build your own stage if there isn't a platform. So of course, you need to be flexible in your mindset, in your heart set, in your faith, in your willingness to try new ways, try new recipes, mix it up, create your own flavors. Flexibility is a superpower.
Mm-hmm. I love that. You know, and I start my day with gratitude. Every single day is an opportunity to express gratitude. And the moment that I wake up, I have this little prayer that I say, thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for another opportunity. I'm truly grateful for the day that you have given me. Please allow me the courage, the confidence, the strength, the knowledge, skills, and experience to show up in a way that serves others in which they have put their faith and trust in me to do. Please allow me to show up so that I can show out, speak up so that I can speak out, and be of 100% service. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here because I say different things from day to day, but for the most part, I have about the same things. It really depends on what I'm focused on for that day. I'll kind of modify that little gratitude prayer when I wake up every single day. You hit on something that reminded me of something I used to do years ago. I was in the military for 24 years. Yeah. So if you wonder why am I so disciplined, why am I so regimented, why am I so like, it's because I was in the military. And
I was raised by a military man, so we have that in common. My dad was also in the military.
My mom was married 4 times. 3 of them were military men. So okay. I dealt with that when I was growing up. And then I also joined the military for 24 years, served as a government contractor for 5 years after I retired from the military. And now it's like, now I'm just doing whatever here.
Your mom has a thing for men in uniform, military uniform.
She did. My mother passed away here not too long ago, but man, you know, the things that she did over the years always stuck with me. She was one of the great leaders that I looked up to, because no matter where we were within our life, you know, she was right there. She was that staple. If she gave me a shoulder to cry on when I needed one, she gave me an ear when I needed someone to listen to. And I think that's really important, you know, when it comes to being empowered. I think it really has a lot to do with having someone that you can know, like, and trust, someone you can lean on, someone that also will stand there with you instead of fight against you in your moment of vulnerability and your biggest moment of need right there. So talk to us a little bit about right there. What does it mean to just be there in presence? Because you did say that there, make them feel present. What does it mean to be present with someone when they need you the most?
It's a new skill that is becoming widespread, like doctors, therapists, teachers, preachers, coaching. Society's changing a lot. Historically, we lived very much in communities of extended family, and we were each other's support network. You have, as I said, a teacher, a preacher, an uncle, somebody to reach out to and present whatever challenge, obstacles, shifts you're trying to make, get guidance and support. But that's all changing now, and we're becoming more, isolated. COVID has also kept shifted the way we work, the way we lived in so many ways. So it really means a lot to build relationships. Relationship is the key to a fulfilled life. Human beings, we're not meant to be on our own. We're meant to be in relationship, whether romantic relationship, healthy family relationships, or collaborative work relationship. So we thrive by surrounding ourselves with the right people. It's very important to hold space for people who are going through something, because there's a difference between making it and not making it. It's this difference between transcending from that space and time or not, or staying stuck. As a coach, the most powerful thing I can do for another human being is to let them understand that we build trust. We build trust with our clients. That trust, the word trust, TRUST, has us in the middle. So the way that person, I hold presence for that person, is to let them understand that us, you, me, and this conversation is so important that nothing will break it. And that opens a safe container for them to be themselves, see their truth, speak their truth, and be able to overcome whatever's holding them back. At least we can table it for discussion, knowing that I see you, what you have to say is important. I love you. I believe in you. The most wonderful thing you could tell somebody is that I believe in you, and make them feel valued and worthy of their experience, and to be able to allow them to almost hold up a mirror of greatness, that they can get a reflection and borrow your faith in them so that they can become, because we're all trying to become, right? The journey of becoming. Sometimes you need somebody to hold your own mirror of greatness to you so that you can see what's possible for you.
I love that you said that, because we're always evolving. There's so much opportunity that's out there, and we haven't arrived yet. We're still becoming. But that book that you held up there a minute ago had a key word in there, and that's called settle. And I think a lot of people really kind of settle with what they have, with what they've always had, with what they've always known, and they don't try to put forth the effort to try to achieve greatness. They play small, they hold themselves back. And I'm here to tell people, I was like, look, don't settle for anything less than the best, because we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. And like our mentor Evan says, once you discover your purpose, you will discover your passion. And I know that you have a passion for empowering women through confidence. And it is a very dynamic process. But how can women really adapt and evolve? Because I think that we're in a period to where we're evolving, we're learning, we're having access to different processes, different procedures, different resources, and it's becoming more and more readily available nowadays. But how can women adapt and evolve, or at least have the confidence to evolve? And what strategies would you share with women that, like, hey, here are resources. You do have this. You do have this available. How would you coach women to let them know that, hey, you can make progress. You can take action. No matter what stage you are within your life or within your career, you can do this.
As you asked that question, and I remember this week is Martin Luther King's celebratory week, I have to quote one of his quotes that is my mantra for the women who I serve. And that is, everybody wants to be famous, but not everybody can be famous, because but everybody can be great. Actually, I'm butchering this. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service, right? Greatness is determined by service. So the way I support women is to let them understand that you have somebody that the world need. You have something that the world need. Find what you're passionate about. Decide what your mission is and go to work on it. Go to work on yourself first and serve from that. The way you serve is by not chasing perfectionism, not chasing maybe how things were done in the past, or how your parents did it, or society expectations of you, but you yourself define what excellence means to you. Set the bar high, raise your standards, and go for it. That's as simple as that. And that means different things to different people, Terry. For me, I'm on a mission to unlock potential in women, especially. There are so many women, especially mothers, who have so many books, music, gifts, talents, painting, businesses locked up inside of them, and they never unleash their full potential. Miles Monroe says the graveyard is the richest place on the planet because it's full of untapped potential. And sometimes motherhood can because of there's so much perfectionism and expectations and guilt and shame and so much built around the journey of motherhood, which is a beautiful journey. A lot of women feel they have to lower their standards, lower their expectations, and prioritize or live motherhood through the eyes of the world, through the eyes of society, through the eyes of their partners or their mother-in-law or whoever is putting these expectations on them. I empower women by igniting the fire that was in them before they became mothers, or maybe while they've been in motherhood, to understand that the world need women and mothers who've come alive, parenting from passion, because she's waking up, throwing the blanket off her, can't wait to get out of bed, and just going through motherhood and going through living her full potential and her passion. Children need that. They need to see a mother who's come alive and who's living a life of excellence. She's raising her own standards in everything from her mindset to how she steps out in the world to her creative endeavors, whatever that she wants to do, and going to work on it and showing your children that it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, it takes focus, it takes clarity, it takes all those topics that we discuss several times on our movement maker discussions. It takes so much, but we cannot. I don't want to die. I want to die empty, Terry. I want to die empty. I want to show my children. I want to be 110 years old with my great great granddaughter on my lap. And I tell her, Granny lived a full life. And then I tell her all the exciting adventures that I had so that she can see, oh, I've handed the baton on like that. Because until, as I said before, maybe I created the trail, the maps, the tools, the resources. You can't give what you don't have. We could tell our children, go out there and live your life and be this and be that. But if I've not lived it, it's not do as I say. Show me what a full life looks like. Show me what a woman looks like when she's illuminated in her passion, in her courage, in her faith, in her belief in herself. I want to demonstrate that for my daughter. I want to demonstrate that for my clients. And so for me to be the kind of coach that I want to be, I consistently have to work on myself. When I work on myself, I work on my clients. When I work on my clients, I work on my business. And I'm just raising my standards, making excellence my mark, and prioritizing service, because everybody can be great if you choose to serve.
I love that. Everything you said right there reminds me. There's a book that's out there called "It Takes What It Takes," and I truly believe that people they don't understand what it takes to do the things that we do sometimes. Oftentimes, people on the outside looking in will be like, "Man, like Amma's amazing. Amma look great. Amma's doing it with confidence and grace and beauty and all these things." And people say, well, I can't do that. That they let that self-doubt creep in. They let that, that those limiting beliefs kind of kick in a little bit. And then they lack the courage and the confidence to really kind of step out there and be vulnerable. And it's those moments of uncertainty that really, we don't really know what we don't know, but it takes what it takes in order to get past those things that we don't know so that we can get a result. And one of the things that I share with people is I got this little framework that I share with everybody. I was like, look, you can't get a result unless you take an action. You must think, you must decide, you must act. From that result, from that action, you're going to get a result, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, big, small, positive, or negative, it is a result. Figure out what went right, figure out what needs improvement, review, revise, and repeat. It's a simple framework. But I think that a lot of times people are really just missing those frameworks. They're missing the strategies that go behind what it takes to have courage, what it takes to have confidence, what it takes to take action every single day. So what would be a good strategy that you could share with everybody that would be like, you know what? It, whatever you have going on today, it doesn't really matter. You need to show up in a way that serves you and serves others in a best way, but people don't even have a strategy just for showing up. What would be a great strategy for someone?
Hmm. Bingo. The strategy is strategy. The
Mm.
only strategy is strategy. First, you have to seek to understand, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? What is it I'm trying to avoid? What are the next best steps? These are the most basic things you can ask yourself. And then understand that. So you said, Amma looks like she's doing this or that with ease and grace. Ask a better question. How is she doing that? Because
Mm.
there's a strategy for everything. If you want to know about my strategy for maintaining your physical health, if you want to know my strategy for creating reels, if you want to know my strategy for showing up, there's a strategy for everything. That is the lesson that took me the hardest to learn. Find people who are doing what you want to do, some of the moves, some of the shakes, some of the steps, and reach out to them. Get a coach. This uh, path to greatness and unleashing your potential, I don't believe we're supposed to do it on our own. I decided I wanted to be a coach, transitioning from being from a background of marketing and public relations. And Terry, I might have been able to do it because, as I said, it's 50% intuition, it's 50% something I built with. I've always been the go-to girl who was supporting girlfriends, relatives, family members with relationship troubles. For some reason, I was always the one picking up the call for that. However, when I decided I wanted to be doing this as a full-time role and not as a hobby, I took a strategy from several courses. I invested in myself. So I would say the best strategy is to invest in yourself. Find yourself a coach, find yourself a program, find yourself something that helps you to become that next level you. But most of all, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that every single one of us has potential inside of us, like a seed, right? If you don't plant the seed, if you don't water it, if you don't nurture the soil, if you don't do the work, you're not going to be bearing fruits. And the other thing that's important is that in today's society, we got so used to calling Amazon today and it's with to your house at 7 o'clock in the evening. So most people quit on their dreams and their goals because it's too hard, it's taking too long. I love what you said, Terry. It takes what it takes. So you have to decide. And Napoleon Hill said, do I have a burning ambition or a burning desire? Put the burn behind your ambition, behind your desire, behind your potential. Go to work on it. Allow it to take whatever it takes, but just decide, I will not quit. And guess what? You will get an outcome, and that outcome will be what you've been looking for, no matter what. It works every time.
I love that, and if you want to have confidence, you really kind of have to embrace the idea that you don't have it all together. You are vulnerable. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have skills yet. I think yet is the key word there. And I think that a lot of people really, really quit before they get to the, I haven't arrived yet. I haven't gotten there yet. It's like, it doesn't mean that you can't, you just haven't gotten there yet. Can you share a story with us where you felt the most vulnerable? Like, man, I just don't have it. I just don't want to do this, where you had to step through that vulnerability to have the confidence to take an action. I think that oftentimes when people feel that they don't have it all together or they don't have it yet, they tend to just not, they're just debilitized. They're paralyzed. I can't do anything because. Have you ever had a moment where you just felt like that, but you know what? You grabbed it and said, let's go.
All the time, all the
Mhm.
time. But I'll give because you asked me to tell you a story. I'll tell you a story.
Mhm.
When I graduated from university, I was working in a call center for an airline company called EasyJet. And in the call center, I was really good at serving customers, but it's not what I wanted to do. I had a master's degree in marketing management and I wanted to be in the marketing department, but I was in the call center. But I recognized that if I do a bloody good job in this call center, somebody in marketing is going to notice me. Anyway, Terry, I sat there forever. And no, well, I say forever, for about 6 months, and nobody approached me. So not feeling confident because I knew I didn't have what it takes to be applying for anything in the marketing department, I asked them if I can work there a couple of days a week for free, just to be able to sit there, listen to what it means to have the transferable skills of the theory that I knew, but to apply it to real life marketing principles. So I sat in the marketing department for about 3 months. And then I saw a job advertised, a big job. It was way bigger than the skills I had at the time. It was to work for a national carrier. And I knew this wasn't a graduate position. But Terry, I just, before I even knew about manifestation was a thing or a word, I decided to see myself in that position, and that job is mine. I circled the bloody thing. I went to the interview, and what I was really good at was projecting that I was a willing learner. I'm a coachable individual. I'm happy to be trained, whatever it takes. And I convinced that marketing manager that I don't quite meet the requirements on the paper right now, but I believe in myself, and I'm asking you to believe in me. I will become that person. So it was very nerve-wracking because, as I said, the role was much bigger than who I was at the time. But I had faith in myself. And I recognized then, lesson one, that whatever you're doing, the first step, confidence is something that comes after you gain competence. But you got to be willing in your wobbly, unconfident state, with so full of self-doubt, to take a step. That step might be just even applying. Let me just apply. If I get a response back, it's a sign, right? Oh my God, let me just go for the interview. If I get called for a second interview, it is taking step by step by step. And every time you pass one step, you build a bit more confidence. It's a muscle. It's not there going to the gym once, or it's not there winning once. It is a repetitive action. So that's an example of applying for jobs that I knew I didn't have the skills for, but I was willing to learn. And confidence is something that came after I got competent at the role. But a lot of people wouldn't even start because they think they need the confidence to start. You don't need confidence to start. You need the faith, the belief in yourself that you can do it. And then you just take baby steps. I won't even say little steps, baby steps toward that. That baby step might be applying for the job. It might be speaking to a friend to help you revise your CV so you look the part. But I would say that there are many scenarios that I wasn't confident, Terry. More recently, let's say 2 years ago, Rosie Rose got me to do my first IG live. I didn't want to do it. And for the first time, I didn't like the way I look. I didn't like my voice. I thought I didn't realize the many mannerisms that we don't realize that we have, right? Like I say a lot of, I use my hands a lot. I didn't like any of that part, seeing myself for the first time on screen. But somebody told me maybe the parts you don't like is what makes you real. Maybe the parts that are imperfect is what makes you connectable, relatable. Maybe the parts that isn't so polished that you're hating on is the part that is endearing women to you because they see themselves in you. And now, Terry, when I go live, to be honest with you, I don't care anymore. I am the women that I'm talking to, or I've been them. I know you. We're together. Let's go. Let's do it scared. Let's do it wobbly. Let's discover who we can be, imperfectly us. And that's all I care about right now. It's just to grow and evolve.
I love that. Rosie's a powerful woman. I've gone live with her before on Instagram, and we've had some truly powerful conversations. And man, she has a great story as well too. You know, it's one of those things that I truly believe, listening to what you said right there, nothing changes unless you change. And it begins with yourself. And the moment that you're able to look within, because a lot of people are looking for inspiration in all different places and, you know, and this, that, and the other. But look, inspiration begins within. And I think that whenever you are able to look within inside, you will understand what the possibilities are, because a lot of times people are just looking for opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. They're skin deep, there's surface level, there's opportunities everywhere. But I truly believe when you're able to look deep within inside, you will find everything that you've ever been looking for, because you are capable. You can be the change that you want to be within the world. You can know the change, you can do the change, you can give the change. because I see so many people complaining about, oh, I want this, I want that, or how come this, or how come that. But yet, look, it does take one, but it takes you to be able to show up in a way that you can be the change you want to see within the world. And that's a frequency. That's, that gets put out there within the world. I smile at everybody. It drives my wife nuts. I'll talk to anybody. It drives her nuts, because I'll stop and I'll just kind of carry on a conversation with people. But look, I also walking around and I see people just grumpy. They look like they're pissed off at the world and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, look, man, it just takes a smile, and you can change somebody's whole outcome of their day just by giving them a smile, because you know what? That might have been the only smile they got that day. We have all
I
this
love
anger
that.
around us.
I
We
love
have
that.
all. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love that, Terry. And I'm laughing because I drive my husband crazy as well, because I am a coach. I coach every day and I coach everywhere I go.
Mm.
Recently I went to the hospital to have a blood test. I ended up coaching the woman drawing my blood. When we go through the airport, if I have any moment, airport security, we're talking about something. I feel like
Uh-huh.
every moment is an opportunity to have a deep, meaningful conversation with the human that you're interacting with. Something about the
Mm.
conversation they'll remember, they'll come alive, they'll have an insight, they'll shift their mindset. We are walking gifts. We're walking gifts only if we dare to use our voice to inspire, motivate, embrace somebody. You can embrace somebody just with your work, the power of your words, your smile, your heart. And I wear my heart out open, because that's the way I feel good. People are always saying that, are you always happy? I'm not always happy, but I
Mm.
choose to be happy, and I recognize that happiness is created. But you were talking about confidence, opportunities, and ideas. The world is full of opportunities. The world is full of ideas. Literally, come a dime a dozen. Everywhere you go, there's an idea or an opportunity waiting to be untapped or unleashed. But as you said as well, it starts from within. You can't go for those opportunities, or you can't pick up an idea and run with it if you don't believe in yourself. You can't. Somewhere along the line, this ain't going to work. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not, finish the sentence. So,
Mm.
the greatest thing anybody can do for themselves, for their family, for their community, is to take time to invest in themselves, to learn some of those strategies that gives radical confidence, because the next chapter that this world is going into, it's not for people who lack faith in themselves. You have to believe in yourself. Machines, computers are going to replace some of the core skills that we're doing. We're seeing that in the workplace right now.
Mhm.
And that means the next frontier is to invest in yourself, to have emotional intelligence, to be able to feel all your feelings and all your emotions and let them drive you, but you drive them with your
Mhm.
desired outcome in mind.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking time. I had an absolutely amazing conversation here. And we've had an opportunity to talk before in Evan Carmichael's Movement Makers, and and I've seen all your live streams. We've connected, but I think this is the first time that we've really truly connected, in a very different way, in a unique way, around a powerful conversation of confidence. And I love you for that. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk with me here today. Before we go, I always give everybody an opportunity to share one golden nugget. Like, if you had the most powerful thing that you could share with anybody that's going to watch this, what would that one golden nugget be?
Oh, that's a very good question. Um, well, I have a heart for women and I have a heart for mothers. And
Mhm.
the one golden nugget that I want to share will have to be something around the world needs more women and more mothers to come alive, to build the confidence in themselves, to be able to tap into the endless reservoir of ideas, opportunities, talents, and gifts that they have trapped inside of them, so that they can impact their children to become a greater version of themselves. When you perfect and not perfect, but when you step into and embracing the idea that greatness exists within yourself, believing that you've got greatness inside of you, I say make that your life pursuit to find out what that is and gift it, number one, to yourself, to your children, and to the world, because the world need that. We're going to change this world not by anything in the outside forces that we can't control, but by controlling our thoughts, our emotions, our hearts, and channeling that into what our life purpose is supposed to be. And this is the gateway to true fulfillment. If you want to die and the day you die, you're feeling like, yes, I came here, I lived the human life, I celebrated everything that I could. It starts by you coming alive, finding your passion, your purpose, and gifting the world with that brilliant version of you.
I love that. Amma, thank you so much. Any current projects that you want to share, and how can anybody that's watching this connect best with you?
Yes, I host regularly a free confidence masterclass, and anybody interested in joining, we do them like every couple of months. They can just send me a DM on my Instagram. My handle is at Amma Primicino. And yeah, and also I offer a complimentary discovery call. So if you have a burning desire, a goal, ambition, if you're feeling stuck, you want to open the next level of you, and you believe that confidence is the gateway and the key to unlocking your full potential, I'm happy to offer a discovery call to see if we're good fit together. And if we are, we can take it from there.
Awesome. Amma, thank you so much. I'll be sure to have all of those links in the description and all of the locations of where this will be. This will be on YouTube, all the podcast platforms and so forth. So we'll have everything in the descriptions. That way you can get connected with Amma. Amma, thank you so much for talking with me
Thank you
today.
so much for this time with you. I always enjoy the time spent with you, Terry. And thank you for having me today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us here today. That was Amma Primicino. Make sure you get connected with her. We'll have all of her links in the description and the videos here and the audios, wherever this is at. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Get connected to Amma. We'll see you in the next video.